Hey Guildies, this is Kenzorf, the Pride of Azeroth. I just want to quickly go over part 2 of getting set up with key bindings, so I'm just going to jump into it. So you should already have watched part 1 just to kind of know what they are, so this is just going to be getting your first major key binding set up. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that you want to do is you're going to hit escape, and you're going to click on the button key bindings. You should see it right in front of you. So when you click on key bindings, it should open up this screen. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to bind your keys Q and E. Right now, here, let's actually exit out of the menu real quick. If you press Q, it should, and you don't have a key bind, it should make you do this, strafe. That's called strafing. Q should make you do that, and E should make you do that. What we're going to do is we're going to make your A key strafe, so then it'll do this instead of Q, and then your D key, when you press it, it'll make you strafe right instead. What this is going to do, it's going to open up Q and E now to be able to be spells, quick accessible spells for you to use. This is one of the major parts of key binding, and a lot of people use it. And for casters, I know it might take a little bit to get used to, but you're going to use your mouse instead, kind of how you see here, to kind of help turn and move you around a little bit, so you're able to still attack your targets and stuff like that. You know, turning with your right mouse, vice versa, kind of like this. So it'll take a bit to get used to, but totally worth it. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit escape, go to key bindings. Now you're going to look for strafe left. So you're going to click on it. Right now it should say Q for strafe left, but what you're going to do is you're going to click on it, and it'll say at the bottom, press key to bind command. So once it's glowing yellow like this, you're just going to press A for strafe left, and it should say strafe left has been unbound on Q, and it's now bound to, A or whatever. Now you don't need to exit yet, but now you're going to click on the bottom one, strafe right. So click, it'll turn yellow, and then you're going to press D and do the same thing. Now it's bound successfully. So what you should notice now is when you press Q and then you press E, it doesn't do anything. The keys are completely unbinded now, so they're not doing anything. So now for our next step, though, we're going to go ahead and get your keys binded up on top, so that way you're good to go. So first things first, you may have some stuff on the right side of your screen on the action bar up here. This is actually where we're going to use our, oops, I'm lagging a little bit. Anyways, sorry about that. Okay, so on the top right over here, this is where we're going to be using our key bindings first. So you're going to press escape, you go to your interface, and you want to make sure all your action bars are enabled. So top left, bottom right, right action bar, blah, 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 lock action bars even, and it should be good. Everything should be there. So once that's all set up, you have your action bars. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a spell, if you look over here on the right side, right on top here first, on this top left. Then we're going to put one here, and then we're going to put one here, and put one here, and I'm going to show you how to bind that. So you're going to hit escape now, key bindings. Now click on multi-action bar. So when you click on multi-action bar, you want to scroll down, and you're going to scroll down to right action bar button 1. So right action bar, or right action button 1 is right here, and it's going to appear right here on your key, on basically your action bar on the side of the screen. So what you want to do is you want to click on it, and then now what we're going to do first is we're going to press E. So go ahead and click on, when you're on right action button 1, click on it, and then you're going to press E. And then underneath it, now what we're going to do is you're going to click on that one, and now you're going to press Shift on your keyboard and press E as well. So these are the first two things we want to do. And now, basically to recap, you should be on multi-action bar page, right action button 1, right action button 2. You click on the first one, you press E. You click on the second one, you press Shift, then E, and it should look exactly like this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down right here to right action bar button 2, button 1. you're going to click on this one, and this action bar right here is the one that's going to be on the left of your E button now. So if you look on the side over here, if you have a spell currently in there, it should be binded. We could always change this later, but we just want to keep it organized as much as possible. So on right action bar button 1, you want to click on it, and then you're going to press Q, and then now it should be binded. That button should now be Q. Then you're going to go under the one next to it, and then you're going to press Shift and Q. So now to recap, right action bar button 2, button 1 should be Q, which is right here. Right action bar button 2 is right here, which is now Shift Q. So we're going to hit OK. And now, if you don't have anything on the side, don't worry. You're going to open up your spell book now. And what that'll do is it'll show you now your bars over here. And what you can do now is now drag a spell that you think you would want to use by pressing E. So I'm going to go ahead for this example, just drag Steady Shot. So you grab your spell and then drag it over here on E. There it is, bam. Now every time I press E, I'm going to use this target. Now every time I press E, it should cast that spell Steady Shot. So I'm pressing E, pressing E, pressing E, pressing E, and that's Steady Shot. Now for the next spell, on the left to it for Q, I would like that to be my silencing spell. It would be nice to be able to click that very fast. So I'm going to grab my counter shot spell. In your case, it might be a bash, an interrupt, whatever it is. Basically a spell that you click. I don't recommend that you put like a major cooldown on Q or E because you might accidentally click on it. I would put at most like a 1-minute cooldown spell on these things, but you definitely want to go for something that you can continuously use or cast or something like that. So I'm going to drag it over here. It's on Q. For my next one, Concussive Shot, I'm going to drag it over here for Shift E on the one below. And now for Shift Q, I'm going to get Every Man for Himself and put it right there. So that's how it should look. Obviously, I have more buttons than just those, but I'm just showing you the 4 basic. So to get started with key bindings, figure out what your 4 spells you want to be for E, Shift E, Q, and Shift Q. And but now go ahead and head to your nearest targeting dummy and go ahead and practice. So you're going to press E, you cast your new spell, you press Shift E, you cast your other spell, Q, you cast one, and Shift Q, you use your other spell as well. So that is the basic key binding setup. And just to recap on what we did, basically you go into your key bindings menu. We went to movement keys. We unbinded strafe on left. Also, by binding it to A, so we just basically clicked on this, we hit A, we clicked on this, we hit D, and it unbinded automatically the other ones. Now, what we got rid of was turn left and turn right. If you want those back again, you would just click on left arrow and then you would press A, that would rebind it. Then you click over here, you press D, and that would rebind it as well. That's to get things back to normal. But for this example though, you definitely, and for major gameplay changes to help you get better, you want to stick with strafe left on A and strafe right on D. That'll help you out in the long term. And then now what we did too is we went into the multi-action bar. Well, we made sure our action bars were enabled in the first place, but then we went to the multi-action bar, and then for action button 1, we binded it E. We clicked on it and pressed E, clicked on this, pressed Shift D, went down here, pressed Q, went down here, pressed Shift Q. Then we opened up the spell book, and we dragged over everything pretty much from here over to there. And you can change it, however you want. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to show you how to get 4 basic key bindings as your setup. This is going to enhance and change your gameplay in a major way just by these 4. And of course, with the next video that I'm going to make, the advanced key bindings, you could also bind other keys on your keyboard like R, F, C, X, Z, V, G, T, B, N, H, Y, all of those too. So you never ever again have to worry about going out of your way to click a spell. It could all be clockwork and you could get it down. So anyways, this is Ken Zorf with the Pride of Azeroth. I hope this video was helpful. Yeah, look forward to hearing how it helps you.